Okay. Oh, I just saw Wyatt's Train World wrote that. Sorry, I didn't see your comment there. Yeah, long time no see. It's been a while. I don't remember the last time I did one of these. Probably at least over 2 years ago. Fortunately, I do. It's been a long story why I haven't posted anything lately, but yeah, fortunately the collection's all still here. If anything, it just keeps growing. A couple of new things here and there. Well, Steam is king. I haven't seen you in ages. Yeah, I honestly can't remember the last time I did one of these. It's got to be over 2 years ago. It's been a while, hasn't it? In fact, let me turn him off because I'm having to strain my voice just to talk, and I'm sure you guys can barely even hear me. $675. That is a good first post-war choice, especially if you have. From what I remember, it's been a while since I worked on one, but the early ones with those Baldwin disc drivers. Thank you, David. Yeah, it's been a while. In fact, I had to move recently, so I haven't really had a chance to even run this in about 6 months or so. So this is actually the first time I've turned everything on here in probably almost half a year. So it took a while to get everything running again. A lot of things were broken or just stopped working. But fortunately, it's all there. It's still mostly working. I never got these two set up. Both of these work. It's just a matter of connecting the wires there. And since I don't really live here anymore, I really haven't had a chance. Same for a lot of the stuff down here too. Let's go over here. Nope. My tripod won't. There we go. That's a better view. Tire's kind of busted when I ran through them. I didn't get it fixed. What did you mean by tire? I don't remember a 675 having a tire. Or do you mean those like nickel rim tire? What do we call them? Like the early ones had. I don't have one on me, in front of me, unfortunately. If you move, what's your trains doing here? Well, I moved out, but this house is still here. So I relocated for a new job about 40 miles away, and I live down there during the weekdays, but I come up here during weekends. So I really don't have much time to work on this, which is why a lot of things were just stopped working or were kind of hadn't been run in a while. Plus, where I live during weekdays, I don't have enough room for all of this. I wish I did. Shit, got a bigger house. Actually, it was an apartment I had to rent, but yeah, I wish it was bigger. Huh. Yeah, I've never seen one of those metal tires actually slip off before. I didn't know it was possible. Interesting. I'll have to check mine to see if they're loose at all. Learn something new every day. Okay. So this engine right here, I think I'll give it a break. I'll swap it out. Let me turn him down so I can actually hear myself talk. Any preference, like which locomotive you want to see run? Any of these? There's a couple back here too, and there's about 20 behind me too. I'll have to go over there eventually. Yeah. Come on. That'll work. God, I forgot how loud these Santa Fe F3 engines are. Man, they're noisy. Yeah, they're still here. I believe there's one that UPA 44. Ah, yeah, I do remember that one. So the Disneyland engines, they're in a cabinet behind me. I have to go grab those. I think what Wyatt was talking about, I believe was missing. Where did it go? Ah, here it is. Okay. Nathanator, I remember that name. It's been a while, hasn't it? So, you're talking about this guy? I don't know what Lionel called it. 8002? 8002? Something like that? That's the only one I have that's gray. If that's what you're thinking of, yeah, I can go ahead and run that. Yeah, okay. So, you know what? I got a better idea. I'm too lazy to pick them up, so I'm just going to have them go in the yard. And hope and pray all these switches still work. Perfect. Okay, so bear with me a minute. I remember this box is kind of weird. We got one tender. One engine. Okay. And what did I knock over? Well, that god-awful whistle still works. Here we go. Woo! We called it after a song from Goodman. Do you worry about a thing or something like that? You know, it's been so many years, I can't even remember what video that was. So you got a better memory than I do. You got an HO scale brass Pacific. Haha. Huh. What happened? Was it just bad rods or was it old? Rust or something? Man, that whistle is awful. Ooh. I guess they left smoke fluid in there. At least I hope that's smoke fluid. You know what? Before I forget, I'm going to move this box so I don't trip over it. Yeah, sorry about that. No rust, something like screws. Huh. Yeah, I'm not much of an HO person, so that's kind of beyond my knowledge. I have had problems where rods, meaning rods like right here, where they bind up or they get stuck. I've had that happen before. Okay. Got The Journey by H.O. Frisco. Which train museum is that? I haven't heard of that one before. So I'm going to swap out this guy because he's been running for about 20 minutes now and he's probably a little hot. So, yeah. Okay, I'm out of room. All right, which one of these do you guys want to see? Why am I? There we go. I was all zoomed in there for a second. If not, then I'll probably pick like one of these guys, one of these switchers. Back here, let me just do that. Goodbye. Oh, I don't think I ever posted a video of him, did I? I got him about 2 years ago. I think we lost the train. So, what I was gonna say before this guy interrupted me was, I can't remember where I got that. I thought it was an eBay purchase. But yeah, somebody already modified it and it was like that. And you had a good memory because I did have a second one or a previous one that I made. This was one that somebody had put together. Yeah, in fact, I don't know where shoot. I lost track of where the other one is I have. It's somewhere down below. Yeah, it's a kit bash. It's actually really well done. Somebody made this part on the tender here. I think they used like a plastic shelled tender. This part is from a 1656. The motor was like a 2026 or something. It's got the nicer rims. And the steam chest was from the pre-war 060. So it's got parts from everything. It's a small museum. People know what it is, and people did not know what it is. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm one of those that doesn't know what it is. If I ever make my way out there, that's one place I want to stop by. Yeah, in fact, what I can do, I know he's not strong enough to haul this train, although maybe he is. I can put him on the outer loop and just run him around for a little bit and show you what he does. It actually is a pretty smooth engine. Problem is I got to take this guy and put him somewhere. So hang on for a second. You know what? I'll put him on top of the box for the Union Pacific guy. Chicago Lad, I haven't seen you in a long time. I remember you. I just saw something you posted. You had a slot car edition. Is that right? If you learn how to solder, I'll most likely convert my 2-rail into 3-rail. That's very possible. You should definitely learn how to solder, especially in O-gauge. It really helps with repairs, and actually for me, for my job currently, I have to solder a lot too, all the time. So that kind of helps where I work now. There's a risk of closing. They're trying to stay strong. Oh, well, that's really unfortunate to hear. Shoot. Now they just find out about this place, and now I hear they're closing. That's not fair. Okay, I'll put him down there. Probably scrape up all that cardboard. And let me put this here for a second. I'll just this guy. So let me turn him off. I forgot to mention, someone also made a homemade bell ringing circuit inside there. It's not a Lionel. It's like a circuit board with a 555 timer chip with a solenoid. So someone did a really damn good job of making an 060. Today of all days to be. Well, over here in Southern California, we're almost hitting about 100 degrees with really high humidity. So it's one of those days I'm just staying inside and just getting as much rest as I can. It's hot out here. I'm sure it's hot everywhere else too. So let's see. Let's see if he's strong enough to haul, what is this, 12 boxcars? I lost track how many there were. All right, let's see. It'll probably carry it. Yep, no problem. Ah, they only started in 2016? What happened? Yeah, no problem at all. Ah, you're in Georgia. I didn't know that. Yeah, you guys get really bad summers. Ooh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, we actually had thunder and rain here too this morning, if you can believe it or not. All the way in Southern California. They couldn't even predict that. So yeah, pretty good engine. Someone did a really nice job. I didn't really have to do much to this one other than just give it a typical overhaul and cleaning and backup. Yeah, it did have a backup light, I think, unless it burned out. Yeah, there it is. And for what I remember, they used like a plastic shell tender. It's not die cast. I would have thought it was die cast, but they got a plastic one. And now the bell stopped. What happened? There it goes. Yeah, the bell's not very loud, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't even remember when I got this. It's been a while, but I don't think I ever posted a video with it. So sorry about that, guys. 675, the only thing I did too was add white walls and a running board and something, a chime on the dome. So which version do you have? I think there was two. The first one was like a 262 and the second one was like a 264. I have both. I have both versions. I remember the first one ran really good, and the second one was kind of a little bit more clunky. I don't know. I always had problems with the second version. Ah, so you had the first one. Yeah, that's probably the better one. They had, uh, I forget what motor it was. It was, anyways, just it was all around better design. It was a lot smoother. In fact, hang on a second. Let me see. Let him go. This guy. This guy was a Hudson, and I put a 675 motor in there, and it's one of my best running engines. Aside from this guy, it almost flipped over the rail. What did he say there? Ah, yeah, it's unfortunately that happens a lot. Owner passes away, or a family can't get the museum going or continue going. It happens a lot. It's unfortunate. I have my condolences too. Is your bridge removable? You know, all these years I had planned to make this removable or some kind of lift bridge, and I never got around to it. So, yeah, you just have to duck each time you go underneath here. So, as you can imagine, yeah, I've hit my head on this thing way more times than I want to remember. But it's solid. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to collapse. A train's not going to fall off. So that's one benefit for now. Okay, when this guy comes around, I see. Let me go take him off. So I'll put this here. Yeah, he's stuck. There. Got him. Let's see. Let me do. I don't think I ever did a video of this one. I've had him for about 2 years. I don't believe. I don't know. Let me see. There we go. This guy is probably one of my. I take that back. I was just gonna say is one of my favorite engines, and he lost his train. What happened? Okay. Somehow that got uncoupled. Must be the ghost. Okay, let's try it again. So, that one is probably one of my favorite engines because of how smooth and quiet it is. And somebody named Dale Hudson, haven't seen you in a long time. I haven't either. In fact, I can't remember that username. Did you change it a while ago? Ah, you own a Lionel 240, got a train show. $25 this day and age for any kind of Lionel engine is pretty good. So that's, no, shoot, I'm sorry about that. There's so many usernames, I can't remember which one you were. I'm so sorry. One of your first mistakes was thinking I know, oh, here's like a pro is buying a real small transformer. Yeah, I did that too when I first started about 15, 18 years ago. I bought like a 40-watt transformer thinking, oh, it could handle, it wasn't even a 675. It was like a 2018 or something, and yeah, it couldn't even push that. So yep, I made that mistake before. The couplers are definitely something I don't like. Yeah, tell me about it. Especially these ones, what they call electro couplers or whatever. The ones that have a solenoid that are supposed to activate. I always have problems with those. Chase Railway says hello. Hello back to you. I've heard that too. In fact, I used to have a couple of cars where I just straight out gave up trying to work on the couplers, and I had to just use rubber bands. I don't remember which cars they were. I'm sure they're on here somewhere. Um, yeah, a 1033 is definitely better. So electro, I forget the term. It's is there a car I can here? I know this guy has it. These couplers. You see that? There's like a solenoid right there. That's what I'm talking about. They call it like electro couplers. There's some kind of fancy name Lionel called it. I forget the correct term. Yeah, I always have problems with those. They just like randomly open up and an engine will just fly off and the cars are just sitting there. Ah. Well, thank you, Wyatt. Thank you for hanging around, and hope you have a good rest of your night. And thank you for sticking around and watching. Hope I didn't bore you to death. Electromagnet. Okay, yeah, I guess that's what they're called. I totally forgot. Like I said, it's been almost 2 years since I done one of these live streams, and probably almost 6 months since I last ran this, so a lot of this stuff I kind of forgot. Well, yeah, let me side that for a second. I did. I saw it years ago when I was a kid. Let's see. I was probably, I'm going to be dating myself. It was probably like 25 years ago when I saw that. But yeah, I kind of got a lot of ideas for this layout based upon that. Just based on how abstract and crazy that show was. Um, I guess you could call it that. I can't remember what I based that one, but yeah, I did paint that one about 2 years ago. I think it was LA Railway. I don't know if I ever did a video on this. So a couple of years ago, I made a trolley system where it would stop there, it would keep going along here, stop right here for about 5 or 10 seconds, and then continue on. So I haven't run in a while, so let's see if it still works. I probably won't. Yeah, maybe not. There we go. So what it's supposed to do is it'll continue along here, it'll stop, and it'll pause, and it takes off again. Yep. So it kind of works. It's a little finicky. Yeah, I remember when I first built this or put this thing in, it worked a lot better where it would stop for like 5 seconds and then continue on, whereas now it just stops for a second. Now it doesn't stop at all, so, oh well. Okay, there we go. That worked that time. So I think what I used was, it's been so long I can't really remember, but this station it has like a timer inside there. It's one of those. And I rigged it up so as soon as the trolley hits there, it stops and it continues on after a couple of seconds. As you can see, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like there, it kind of worked. It stopped for a second. There we go. So that's what it's supposed to do. It'll stop, pause, and then continue on. But yeah, it's all just like really basic. There we go. and I think I killed it. Yeah, it's got some bugs. Okay, let's see if it'll work this time. Nope. Okay. So that's something else I gotta fix then. It's a work in progress. What did you say? Yeah, okay, so it's called like a thermostatic, thermometallic strip. Yeah, it's one of those. So I rigged it up so whenever it hits like the end section, it stops. And then when that relay closes again, then it gets power and continues on. So yeah, thermostatic bimetallic, that's what it is. It's one of those. If I get a chance and I finally get this thing working again, I'll try to do a video of that, show how it works. The whole thing is like underneath the layout, but it's really basic. And somebody said, not sure what your second post-war should be. A turbine. I honestly can't remember what the turbines go for now. I bought mine like almost 10 years ago. God, was that 10 years ago? It felt like yesterday. Yeah, I guess it was. So I bought mine for 60 or 70. It was at a train store. If I had to recommend an engine, I would probably say, well, everyone's going to kill me for saying this, but I would say one of these guys, one of these switchers. The early NW2s. They're some of my best running engines, but also some of the hardest to work on. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. But yeah, they're really easy to run. In fact, this guy can almost crawl and stall, so that's great. Okay, let's pull him out. A 665. That one I can recommend. We're about HO, but you do have N. I used to be HO up until 18 years ago. Was it that long ago? I guess so. But I gave up because it just never quite worked. It was always very finicky, and I finally got an O scale set, and I loved it, and I fell in love with that. Early switchers, yeah, there's some of my. In fact, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but these ones, the Santa Fe, the black ones, I got 6 of those. There's 2 right here, and there's 4 somewhere else down below. Plus, I have 2 of these. These are later ones, but that's another story. But these ones, the Chesapeake and Ohio, the Seaboard, these are really good engines. In fact, let me try this one. I hate to say it, but this is probably where, wrong one. Probably where post-war Lionel was at its prime in terms of like diesel engines. Yeah, look at that. It's just quiet. So yeah, if you ever have a chance to get one of those, definitely recommend it. Hook to accessory part. Ah, yeah, I've done that before sometimes. I like insulated track sections. If the track isn't well if the middle rail wasn't, or I forget what happened, but yeah, I've had that happen before, where like it'll get like phantom power somehow. It happens occasionally. Here, let's just run it by itself. Yeah, that sound you hear is actually the E unit. That's not even the motor. That's how quiet it is. Okay, let's try a different one. Let me try. So for comparison, that was the early NW2s. Switches go beep beep, but it's just silent. Yeah, unfortunately, these don't have a horn. This one does have a horn somehow. They figured out how to cram a horn inside the cab there. You can see that. So some of these do have a horn, but it's the later versions, not the early ones. And somebody said battery operated. I remember seeing. It isn't. It's actually electrified. I can't remember where I got this one either. Let me see what it does. So this one is somewhat recent. I think I got it about a year ago. I think I know the one you're talking about. It was like Crayola or something. I've seen that one before. This one, yeah, it's real Lionel. I think it was like 1990, 1991. So here, I'll go back to that comment I was saying about the horns. So let me grab. Hey, derailed. There we go. Let me grab this one. This one does have a horn. This is one of those later ones. I think this one was 1962. Yeah, not a very good sounding horn, unfortunately. It's also not as quiet nor as strong as the early switchers either. In fact, it's not too happy with this long train. I wonder what the post-warians would say about. It kind of just depends. Some of them are quite happy with what Lionel does with all the sounds and all the high tech. And I've also heard some say it's either post-war or you die. And why isn't he on the track? There we go. And I don't know. I'm more of the ones that kind of somewhere in between. And you can see here, everything's not post-war. I mean, you've got brand new next to NPC, more NPC, and I don't know what era that guy is, and more post-war. So, yeah, I'm actually kind of an NPC guy myself. In fact, let me just take a little quick trip and show you what I mean. So, ignore that sound in the background for a second. So, this shelf right here is almost all NPC. Almost. I say almost because there's some post-war and there's some modern era stuff back there. But, yeah, I've got way more NPC stuff way down there, too. So, I know people always call it more plastic crap, but they made a pretty damn good train. I gotta hand it to them. Especially to today's market. They're not too terribly expensive either. Oh yeah, how could I forget? This guy is also NPC. Three rail HO scale exists. How? I've never seen three rail HO before. Is that some kind of one-off thing? Ah, Markland. Okay, yeah, they sound like the type who would do something like that. Huh. I'll have to take a look at that. You know, I've always wondered that too. Double O was almost HO scale, was it? Don't quote me on that because I'm not an expert on either of those. So somebody correct me, was it? Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? Quite a few years. Ah, okay, so same gauge but different scale. Huh. That is interesting. You found an double O pre-war Hudson on Facebook Marketplace. Damn. You don't know how lucky you are. 'Cause especially in my area, whenever I check Facebook Marketplace for anything Lionel, it's always like some cheap scout set for $200. It's never anything good. And there's never any deals. Yeah, that's all I have around my area. I keep checking all the time, and it's just for parts, scout sets, and it's like, yeah, a couple $100. Although I went to an antique store in my area a month ago, and I found it was I can't remember what type of transformer it is. It's not the 1033, but it's like the one of those beefier transformers that has the two handles for like $20. It was actually a pretty good deal. I just can't remember what it's called. TW or LW? It's one of the larger ones. So yeah, I'll say that. That was the one deal I found in my area, but that's it. Oh, we lost our train again. Yeah, I have to go look. In fact, it's sitting behind me on my desk, so I'll have to check. It's like yeah, I can't remember. All I know is I saw it and was like, that's a pretty good deal. So I bought it. Was it this one? Ah, I see. It's this coupler. It's loose. So something else to fix. Apparently, okay. Well, that was weird. It was showing there was a short. Okay, well, let me take this guy off and bear with me for a second while I put this down. It's going to take two hands, so enjoy this lovely view of nothing. Okay, I have no room. Yeah, well, I found a good engine to run, and where is it? Okay, I see. This guy, shoot. All right, we're back. Let me just grab. Okay, let me try over here. So while I'm digging around looking for what next to run, anyone got any suggestions or preference what to see? If anyone remembers what I had, because a lot of stuff I can't remember either, so I'm having to like dig around and see like, hey, where did I get this from? Back here. I'm bored. Let me go try this guy. Now I know these type of engines aren't very strong, so no, I'm not going to hook it up there. I just want to see what it'll do. They certainly do, don't they? It captivates almost anyone. Will the Adams Family take over your layout? Shoot, you know what? I didn't do it last year. I forgot. Yeah, Halloween was kind of a... Yeah, I totally forgot. I didn't do it last year. Yeah, maybe. In fact, I'll show you something scary right now. So... Say hi to Wednesday. So yeah, that's a possibility. Do I have a New Haven 2350? Which engine was that? I can't remember what a 2350 was. Was that like a electric engine? Oh, is that the one that's black, red, and white? If so, answer is yes, but it's not running yet. I have one somewhere. Yeah, I do have one of those. I bought the shell for one, and I fixed it up. It was in really bad shape. I had to repaint part of it, cleaned it up, and also bought a rectifier frame and motor. The problem is I never got around to building it, so it's somewhere in storage. Yeah. She's creepy, isn't she? She's always watching you. Did the sound cut out for anyone else? Ooh, did I mute myself for a second? Is that why you guys are so scared? Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, I know what to do. So let me stop him. I'll move him to the inner loop. Little Deuce was like, I'm free. Free bird. Okay. Yeah, I know. That meme is old. Ah. Shoot. Oh, I threw the wrong switch. That's why. Like I said, it's been a while since I ran this. There we go. So, you will haul this train, because I know that train's heavy. It's these stupid post-war cars that weigh a ton. And let me find something else that can pull this train. Did I ever run the Rock Island Jeeps in a video before? Did you guys ever see those? Here, let me go find them really quick. So, and Chicagoland's answer, yeah, I have to duck every single time to go underneath this stupid thing. Ouch. And I need to forget tripping over that. Hang on a second. There. So let me see. Also, speaking of, there. How hard? In terms of layout size, this is kind of small, but yeah, it's just a mess to keep everything wired. But ooh, that sounded interesting. Yeah, we got a derailment. Huh. What did we hit? Hang on a second. And I just smacked my head on that. Let's go take a look. Ooh. Yeah. We sure did. What did we hit? This tree, maybe? What was it? Yeah, that's so weird. Oh, well. Back together, I guess. You know what they say, when you're doing a live stream, anything can happen, and usually it does. Okay, let's try that one more time. Yeah, that tree. Yep. Yeah, that is... We got another derailment. Well, what was I saying? When you have a live stream, anything can happen and it'll go wrong. Yeah. Okay. Sounded like it was another car. Yeah, so that one opened up. And then this guy derailed. Yeah, I honestly don't know what was going on this time. Is there a... No, the wheels look fine. Huh. Track looks fine. Need to clean that up, but that's okay. Must have ran over a tree. Interesting. Well, was this third time's a charm? Okay, let's try this one more time. This time I'm going to be watching it. Yeah, nothing. So, don't know what that was about. Dust, usually just dirt. A lot of times the track gets dirty. I have to clean it about every couple of months or so. But, shoot, that's way too fast. I gotta slow him down. Usually not too many problems with dust, mostly with like paint and surfaces. But nothing too serious. So what I was trying to do before I got interrupted by this train was I found this guy, a helping hand. So that's my assistant for today. And I was gonna grab, let's see, what else to run? Well, can't put him there. He's gonna. There. I don't want any more derailments. So let's go grab. I'll do this guy. In early 2024, my display kits with grand fall and smashed 2 engines. Ooh. How did that happen? I'm sorry to hear that. So I can't remember if I ever did a video with these two. Somebody corrected me. I'm sure I did. I just don't remember, and it's probably been a while. There's actually 2 of them. They're both powered. One was powered. One was a dummy that I converted to be powered. So, and from what I remember, these should both be synced together. Let's see. One's just not even gonna work. That's great. It happened. Life like Tea Kettle, Aristocrat 2080 died. Huh. Well, one of these works. The other one for now it works. But you guys saw that, right? So that coupler just opened up. You know what? Let me take this car and rotate him around. Sometimes that fixes it. So sometimes it doesn't. So we'll find out. Anyways, well, you gotta love American knuckle couples, right? Well, okay. What was that one from? How do you run one engine at a time without the other one moving? I'll give the answer there in a second. As soon as I figure out what's causing this to derail. Yeah, that was weird. Well, you know what? Now that's not even going reverse. There we go. I'm just gonna take this car off. I don't know what's going on with this Alcoa aluminum. It needs couplers need to be fixed. So, as I was gonna say before I was interrupted for the 20th time, You know how engines have what's called an E unit, where you'll cycle from forward, neutral, reverse, neutral, forward. If they aren't synced properly, so like say, here, let's see. You see how these are both synced up? Whoa, he's going way too fast. What happened? So if I were to take that guy off, power that one on for a second, and then put him back on, now in theory, they both shouldn't be synced up and they won't run at the same time. So that guy's just smacked into each other. Like that. So it doesn't really help you too much, mostly if you're trying to move like two trains on the same loop, say like between loops. So you do something like this. Car can way over there. And then bring the second one around. Like that. So yeah, it doesn't really help you that much. It's mostly just kind of how the unit works. Come on. Here he comes. So like that. And so now since they're out of sync, let's see, was that enough? Well, that one's not even running. Okay, so that guy, hang on a second. Take him off for one, power him on, and then he'll be back in sync. There, it should do it. It gets tricky sometimes. That's interesting. Really don't think Rock Island diesels like each other. Usually what you're supposed to do is just lock them in forward and be done with. Sometimes I like having them like both power on, but then you have problems like this where they get out of sync. Okay, so he's in forward, so now he's locked out. In theory. Okay, now this guy's in forward too, so let me lock him out. Yeah, shouldn't have done this in a bridge. Now they should be both synced together. Keyword is should. This is a live stream, so should usually means doesn't. Well, there we go. Rock Island lives on, right? I know most people give these NPC engines a pretty bad rap, but I've actually had pretty good experience running them. Probably be comparable to post-war for the most part. My only complaint is, as you can see earlier, sometimes a little sort out little kinks here and there to get them synced up if you're running both of them together. Okay, so the middle loop, inner loop, I'll take this guy off because it's been running for a little bit and it's probably, yeah, he's hot. Okay, take him off. You know, I wish I had an MPC engine that was dual motored. These are both motors, so I guess that counts. But yeah, they're pretty good engines. Once you couple both together, they're pretty strong. In fact, it's pulling this train with no problem. what I usually like to do with the MPC Jeeps is run both or run two motored engines back to back. That way you have more pulling power, and it kind of helps reduce wear and tear as long as they both run about the same speed. That's the problem. If they both, one's faster, one's slower, then you got more problems. So let me grab an engine for the middle loop, which kind of out of ideas at this point. Let me see. So, any requests? Before somebody says something kind of like way out of whack, like, I don't know, a 440 pulling modern freight cars. Forgot about our friend Thing right here. Dreyfus Hudson. Yeah, I think I just saw that, so I might be able to run that one. Michael's Trains, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love these MPC Jeeps. Did I ever get the Line Masters? Unfortunately, I didn't. In fact, the most high-tech stuff I have here is just Line Chief, and I only have like 2 or 3 of those. Everything else is all conventionally controlled. So, Dreyfus Hudson, he is somewhere. So it's, do you know, it's what Lionel called a Hudson, even though it's not a Hudson. It's like a little tiny 264. I was just looking at it like half an hour ago. It's like right underneath here. So let me go pull it out. I don't think it's strong enough to pull this train, but I'll just show you what he's talking about. Here he is. Yeah. You've probably seen that before. This guy. They're small. They're very tiny. So I don't think, yeah. He's also not. It's not. Yeah, they're not very strong. Look how ridiculous that is. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's pulling it. Let me turn this off. So yeah, these came out in I think 1946. They're not too big. They were more for like smaller 027 size cars. In fact, I haven't run this one in a long time. It's probably overdue for an overhaul because I used to run it. Come on, zoom out. Zoom out. There we go. As you can see, the unit's sticking. And it's stuck apparently. It's stuck on. Poor little guy. I do have its bigger cousin, what's it, a 238E? That larger one that was pre-war. I have 3 of those. 2 of them work. One of them I still got to work on. I kind of like those a little bit better. They're bigger, they're larger, they got a better motor. They're more almost O-scale size in some way. I do have one somewhere down here. I have the gray and black version. That's your favorite engine? Huh. That was mine for a while too. My father had one of these as a kid, and he always called it the torpedo engine for some reason. I guess he thought the front was a torpedo. Yeah, so I got a soft spot for these too, because I've always wanted one since my dad always talked about it, that he had one as a kid. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I finally found one that wasn't too overpriced. It didn't need a ton of work. And here it is. I usually don't run it with freight cars though, because it's so small. I usually run it with those green passenger cars. I can't remember what they're called. The ones that have the gray roof. Yeah, the unit's stuck on something, so he's gonna need some work. Ah, you know what? That is actually a good idea. So I got these 4 right here. Did I ever do a video on these? These New York Central ones? Yeah, so what I can do, and if you guys bear with me, this will take a while. Ah, you're still not gonna. Ah, that was interesting. Ah, so we put this down. You know, I'll put it over here. That's a better view. You can see my hand drop them while I'm trying to pick them up too. There. So let me grab him. Yeah, he's quite small and he needs a lot of work. So let me grab. And let's run a passenger set. So I'm gonna take this outer train and somehow move it to the inner loop. This is gonna be the fun part. I'm not sure how to do this. By the way, this is all live, so if something crashes and burns, you guys are gonna get a front row seat. Okay, that one's all set. Here we go. This is time for derailment. Okay, I think we cleared the switch, so I'll stop him there. Throw that. Let me grab these. I know these are kind of heavy. They don't roll. Nah, they roll okay. They're not the best, but it's gonna take a pretty strong engine to haul these. So I'm thinking probably like either like a Hudson or Berkshire. Has anybody else got any idea? Maybe something crazy? Ah. Okay, that'll do it. So now I got to get rid of this train. And I'll move you down. A 440. Well, I knew somebody was going to say that. I don't know if that's going to work. Maybe like one of the MPC ones. I've got an MPC 440 that's surprisingly strong. Actually, I take that back. It's the post-war General. The 1872, the one with magnet traction is pretty good. That one might be able to haul it. Problem is, I don't know where. Let go. I don't know how that happened. Problem is, I don't know where it is. It's hidden somewhere in this vast layout. You know what? I should have just put the camera down. What was I thinking? There. Aha. Oh, you guys couldn't even see that. Well, oh well. Don't mind me. That's a FRA violation, but nobody's going to notice, right? Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just bumped it and And we got a derailment. What happened? No? Something just shorted out. What was that? Oh, we did have a derailment right here. Yeah. And we lost our train again. Well, maybe I won't run that engine. Or you know what? I'm going to switch these out and have the Southern Pacific Jeep, this guy, pull them. I know this one usually does a little bit better. I'll give him a turn. FRA violation number 2, but somebody don't count me. Yeah, let's see. Can we do... No? You're not going to uncouple? No? Okay, well, I guess that's not working either. Do the old-fashioned way. Okay, now we're off. So, as I was trying to say, let me go put these back, and I will go look for another locomotive. Okay, did he hit something? No, it's just a heavy train. I will do, let's see, I'll do this guy. What is he? A mongrel. Nope. Okay, well, guess today's not the day. All right. Sounds like it's locked up on something. What is it? Okay, that's spinning freely. It locks up as soon as I apply power for forward or reverse. Okay, let's try again. No. Well, you know, I just ran this one like a week ago, so what happened? The heck? I'm just confused. Like, it was working fine, and now it's... Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There's something... That's a bummer, because I like that engine. Weird. I have no idea why it was doing that. Okay, well, let's try backup number 2. What is this guy? Oh, well, I don't know if he can... Let's see. Another mongrel. This guy's probably broken too. Like I said, I haven't run most of these engines in probably 6 months, so a lot of things to fix. Okay, let's try this guy. Well, at least he moves. All right, we got power. All right, let's go see how he looks. A tree. Shoot. Yeah, I might call it a night too over here. It's been almost an hour and a half on my end. I'm getting a little tired of talking. I haven't done this in quite a while, so my voice is a little worn out. So I apologize if it's a little tired of strains. But it was fun having you here. I hope to do this again at least sometime in the future. I don't know when. Kind of just depends whenever the time is right and I have enough time to do this. But it was great catching up with you. Okay, let's go underneath here. Well, we just hit the hour and a half mark, so the rest of you folks out there, I think I'm going to call it quits soon. Ugh, a little tired and worn out from talking for this all this time, but I really appreciate all of you for hanging around and listening to me ramble on about nothing and nonsense. So hope to eventually try this again another time whenever that's possible. But thank you everyone for hanging around, and hope you all have a good rest of your night and a good rest of your weekend. See you soon.